Hey Yud, Vav Yud Vav, Hey Yud, again the second Hey, it adds up to 72. Then you have one that adds up to 63, Sag, and then there's one that adds up to Ban, 52, and then there's one that adds up to Ma, 45. So he says, Iyu Shema, he says, which means when you take the Yud Kei Vav Kei and you do Alephes, which is the lowest denominator. And then Ban is already higher. There's a letter from the Rebbe about it, Mechelik Tes, in the Kudesichas. Why is it that all the Shemas, the bigger number is first, and by Ban, the bigger number is later, after that? All right, whatever. I'm not going to go into it, or we're going to be carried away somewhere else. So Mela, the Rebbe continues. The Rebbe writes it in a letter in the end of the Kudesichas Chelik Tes. I think it's from Rab Shimshon Astra-Polar. It's like a whole biur in Alpi Kabbalah, Alpi Chassidus. So the Rebbe continues. Hine mebchinas hanefesh shel mayla metam vodas nimshach achakach gam ba'aseichel shalei. Then it also comes down in his seichel. In general, the union of Ma is the union of Moshe Rabbeinu. The Nachnu Mo says Nachnu Ma kisalino because he's in the level of Bittul. Moshe is the union of Teira. Teira is more mayla lamat. Is the union of Bittul. Hine mebchinas hanefesh shel mayla metam vodas nimshach achakach gam ba'aseichel shalei. From the nefesh, which is higher than on the logic, comes down later into his seichel. Shegam b'sichle niklato asbara. The Rebbe says this is how also his logic, his seichel understands this explanation. Because this is where he wants to be. That's where he wants to be. And machshav is something which is the highest level in the person. So this also accomplishes that his logic should also understand it. And therefore, a person that did not absorb the previous explanations, the Rebbe says this is one that he should be able to absorb. Thinking about tefillah, and b'meila then from machshav it will come down. Machshav is the essence of the person, comes down into the logic of the person. Shegam b'sichle niklot ha'azbara, that also in his seichel the explanation is absorbed. Shemekivin shal pi Hashem yachanu is commanded kviyu l'dami. Since it's al pi Hashem, the descent, the stop in the desert was also al pi Hashem, so there's also a positive purpose in the stop itself, which means in the descent. Ve'ad shezer nimshach achakach gam b'maisa b'peil. Till this is something that accomplishes, that it also comes down by the person in the practical sense. So therefore, although the Midbar was advancing to Yarden Yereche, till they come to the Jordan, but every stop, although it was considered a stop, a shortcoming of what they were, a delay of what their aim and mission was, still this had a purpose in itself. Like the Rebbe mentioned, the people going on Talucha, going on the walk, like it was in 1955 it began, the union of Talucha, visiting different neighborhoods and different shuls and speaking there, and also bringing out the union of Simcha, joy in different shuls, the joy of Yom Tov. So b'meila, this was something the Rebbe says that the walk itself is also a purpose in it. The Rebbe says not only getting there. The Rebbe says the distance between one place and another has also a purpose. Either it is that every step creates a malach, when a person goes to do a mitzvah, so every step he creates an angel. Or there's a certain refinement needed for the way itself. Like here, stopping in the midbar, there was a certain purpose. And this all was part of the elevation that became obvious later. So now the Rebbe gets down the practical sense how all these three inyanim, the inyan of a lottery, as it is in the soul of a person, or as it is in the service of the person to the Almighty, or as it is as Israel was divided by lottery, these are the three different parts, are actually not only reflected in the person, but also reflected in the service of a person. So this is where the Rebbe gets to in Sif 9, how the Rebbe brings it down in a practical sense, solidifies it in a practical sense. There are three different Eifanim. And as the Rebbe mentions in Aorah 71, that Yesh Leima, that they are reflected in the three things, B'chol Levavcha uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meidecha. Your heart, your soul, and your utmost. The utmost is Gadol. Gadol is mamish, the highest level. Aveda, so the Rebbe says, Aveda b'negel esur merav aseitev b'peyel. The Aveda of refraining oneself from doing something negative, v'aseitev b'peyel, and doing positive things. This means the practical status. Sha'maisa hu ha'ikar. That's the union of Maisa, doing. When we speak about dividing the part of Yisrael, Israel, so there's also a greater tribe received a greater share, and a smaller tribe received a smaller share. That why was it given to each one like that? Because each one has their Aveda, their service to accomplish. And b'meila,
that's without Godel.
Huh?
That's without Godel.
Without Godel. This is logical. That everyone has a certain that he needs to accomplish the sur merav aseitev, practical sense. The Aveda of sur merav, which is doing the mitzvahs that are referred to the positive, the negative mitzvahs, and fulfilling the negative mitzvahs, and doing the positive mitzvahs. L'mayla yeser hi aveda shal pei ruach hakodesh. This is the first one is illogical. Then there's ruach hakodesh, the spiritual intuition. Ubazen nichlulu shnei inyanim. There's two inyanim. Vashveises in ruach hakodesh, it consists of two inyanim. Okay, yodua sharuach hakodesh ubchinas malchus. She is sfiro asiris. That it's known that ruach hakodesh is the inyan of malchus, which is the lowest, the last of all the attributes, royalty. Ulapamim mevuer in the Maimer of the Rebbe Rashab, who shaftem Tafresh Hamachtes 100 years ago. Sharuach hakodesh ibchinas chachma. Ruach hakodesh is chachma. Shemisham sheyavim ruach hakodesh the bchinas malchus. Malchus would draw from chachma, which means that the lowest attribute receives from the highest attribute. So the Rebbe connects it that v'dugmas hayodua bepirush reishis. Al derech, like Chassidus explains, that the union of reishis also has these two levels. Breishis, Beis Reishis, we say Breishis in the beginning. So we say Breishis is an acronym, Beis Reishis. Two beginnings. Why the two beginnings? Shestei abchinas, the Reishis, Chochma u'malchus nasim tevachas. The two beginnings become one. Chochma is from above to below, and malchus is from below to above. Shebazeh nechleles kol ha'esas sfiras. In this is included all the sfiras. Huh? Nasim tevachas, breishis, beis reishis, they become one word. Shebazeh nechleles kol ha'esas sfiras, all the 10 sfiras are included. V'hainu sha'inyan de ruach hakodesh kelel gam ha'bchinas v'adargesh shebintayim the chochma malchus the menefesh. In other words, Ruach HaKodesh, we say spiritual intuition, it is Malchus and it is also Chachma, which are opposite extremes.
It sounds like he's saying everybody has this.
Everybody has characteristics in their nefesh. These are Keches HaNefesh.
But not everybody has Ruach HaKodesh.
Not everybody has Ruach HaKodesh, that's right. And then there's the Rambam that writes that there's two levels of Ruach HaKodesh. There's a level of Ruach HaKodesh that a person is aware that he has Ruach HaKodesh. Then there's a level of Ruach HaKodesh which is more an intuition, a certain sense. He's writing Inyan, and he has a certain sense that guides him to write it this and this way.
What about a dream? A dream is 160.
A dream is Echad Meshishim Ben Vua. Prophecy, okay.
So we'll have a little bit.
Yeah, so there's something also. It's al derech like you have the marshal. You know, you have it in the Ayem Yem. The Rebbe writes in the Ayem Yem, the 6th of Shvat, that the Mechabrin, till the Shach and the Taz, wrote their Svarim Beruach HaKodesh.
I think that they are like it was Marsha too.
The Marsha, that in the Koznitzer Magid. In Sheiris Yisrael, it says the Marsha. In the Ayem Yem, it says Shach and Taz.
Oh, the Marsha.
It's a separate sefer. It's a sefer. In the Ayem Yem, it says only these two. In another place it says the Marsha from the Koznitzer Magid, and B'meila, and the Baal Shem Tov spoke about the Marsha, that if they would know the greatness of the Marsha, they would lick the dust on his grave. people would know the greatness of the Marsha.
Said that Lashon?
Huh?
The Lashon he used?
Oh, you